Introducing the new Avenue layering engine for broadcast, live venues, and presentation. Multi-layering keying and background transitions are controlled through an amazing, easy-to-use iPad interface. The program and look-ahead preview outputs make it perfect for branding, small master control, fly pack, and central casting.
Hello, I'm David Austerberry, Editor of Broadcast Engineering, and I'm here at IBC, and I'm with Davide Maglio, who is Director and co-founder of Loft London.
No, sir.
Right.
It went well.
So, we're here to talk about some of the ways that you're changing the way the whole broadcast business is running in terms of broadcasters focusing on their core business and outsourcing a lot of other services to companies like Loft London. So, I know you started out as in the processing tapes and things like that, but you're moving more to file-based operations. So can you tell me a bit more about what Loft London does for broadcasters?
Of course. We started off as a tape-based archive project company for companies such as Channel 4 and Red B. From there, we've moved, as the industry has moved, towards the file-based workflows. We've seen that some of the larger companies aren't as agile to the requests and requirements of the new technologies, the new platforms for content to be distributed. As we are an independent company, we have that agility. So we've developed a working model and an agile platform so that content can come in whichever way from anywhere around the world, tape or file. And we making international versions into local versions, and we can then supply that to not only the broadcast chain and the traditional method of, you know, the screen at home, to also the second screen, you know, tablets, mobile phones, etc. So we've been working closely with like-minded companies such as Easel TV, and we are developing processes for the content owners themselves, not just the broadcasters, but the content owners, to make that more readily available.
So when a program first arrives at your door, are you involved in processes like editorial and technical compliance?
We do. We work closely with the content owners. The files or tapes can come in from anywhere around the world. Connectivity is key to all of this. We are very fortunate. We have very good technical partners that supply us the connectivity.
What sort of proportion is tape versus files?
If you asked me that question 2 years ago, you would say the lion's share would be tape. Now, we'd say over 80% is now file-based. We've had to increase our tape-based processing only because certain parts of the world still require tape. Certain distributors, even though you work file all the way through, the last moment they need to process in tape, so you have to deliver in tape. But I would say, well, 99% of our workflow at Loft London is file-based. So content will come in, we will then encode it onto our platform. Browser copies are made available to our clients. They then make the editorial decisions, the compliance decisions, obviously, it's their content, and then we enact those.
So effectively they're sending you a rough cut of the...
No, they'll send us a sheet, effectively, you know, a document saying,
okay, cut this bit out.
This, and this. But obviously we have to ripple that through for one of our clients for over 17 different language bases as well, so it can get quite complex. But it's quite it's a lot faster than the same process was even 10 years ago.
So what impact has mobile video and the tablet had on your business?
Big. The 18 months ago there was hardly any requirement at all. The last MIP TV in Cannes, it was one of the leading areas of conversation, and the project that All 3 Media created on the smart TV side of things, that awakened that market to the other producers. So we know the organisations like PACT are seriously looking at developing different ways.
Can you just explain who PACT is for those outside the
Sorry,
UK?
PACT represents the independent producers in the UK, represents gives them a voice within the big media world. So they will look at, you've got the smaller production companies that are doing very, very well, but obviously their clout and impact is quite small, but as part of this larger organisation, better representation, etc.
So what would be the advantage for a broadcaster in coming to somebody like Loft London rather than doing it themselves? I mean, they've already got a lot of expertise and technical facilities.
There are two. There's the financial side of things. Instead of having lots of capex sunk and investment into technologies, they can take that investment away from the operational side, reinvest that into their core business, which is production, program making, etc. And also, as our industry moves in such a rapid way forward, the onus is not on them to then hold on to their technologies, reinvent the wheel, etc. That's our job. And because
so effectively you're saying we'll deal with these new platforms, you don't have to worry about that.
There's a saying we have in the office: we're the grunt to other people's glamour. So yes.
Now I believe you just got a new toy.
Yes, we've got several new toys, but our new favourite toy is Radiant Grid. Carl Dempsey of Boiler Technologies, he introduced us. Well, unknowingly we helped him in his due diligence when buying Radiant Grid, which was announced at NAB.
Right, I didn't know you were involved in it.
Oh yeah, well we were on the inside. He was looking at several companies. He was firing over files to us. We'd been having a long-term relationship with another manufacturer. And also Daryl Huxley, who's our head of technical operations. He's got very good eyes. So we were looking at the whole process. And
so what will this allow you to do then?
It's a very nice toy, as you quite rightly put it. For me, my whole area was looking at frame rate conversion.
Right.
It's not just a frame rate conversion.
So this is very much for sort of meeting the needs of international markets.
Exactly. A lot of the assets that are coming through, obviously, there needs to be a very good quality frame rate conversion. There are some very good and strong market leaders, but they also come at a certain price, and also there are inherent issues in conversion time.
Yes.
1 hour of content can take up to 7 hours of processing.
Really?
Now, when you've got a client who's got 50 hours,
yes,
need a fast turnaround for a sports over in the States, or for sports events in the States, it's going to take you a month. It's going to take you a month to process that, whereas Radiant Grid allows us to move faster than real time.
Wow.
For us, key. We've had a couple of sports companies come in, a couple of our clients come in, and they've already seen the benefits.
Now, I have actually been to your facility, so I know that we talked about the quality, and I gather that the plug-in that Radiant Grid is using offers a very good conversion quality.
It is.
The Cinefilm Tachyon.
That's the fella. No, it is a very, very good quality. Everything is measured by the Alchemist PHC standard, and that's everybody's watermark. It's very, very close. It's.
I guess they're different beasts, because one's real-time SDI in and
exactly.
out, whereas we're talking about file-based conversion.
It's a completely file-based environment. We can. We've plugged it into. You'll be meeting James Gibson, who's the MD of Loft London Solutions. He came on board a good few months ago, and we had blocks. It was a file-based workflow, but there were manual blocks. He's managed to create an automation platform for us. Radiant Grid sits nicely within that. So along with our Harding and QC environments, the Radiant Grid slots in very, very nicely. Open APIs, very powerful little engine as well.
Now, I think we're seeing in the file-based world that the whole structure of the business is changing very much, in that broadcasters are outsourcing content preparation and play out to other companies. So, well, I mean, do you see this outsourcing model going to other areas of the broadcast operations?
I think it will do. I mean, obviously, in the current climate, the financial climate, money is key. Budgets are being cut, production budgets are being cut. Original content has had an impact on that process. Our model, we are like a spoke at the hub of a wheel. Things can come in and go out. We're agnostic. As I say, the grunt to other people's glamour. We're agnostic to that last mile.
Now, but would you say that broadcasters could feel they were losing control by outsourcing?
They had...
Because, traditional broadcasters did everything from glass to glass.
It was glass to glass. There had been, since the late 90s to, a couple of years ago, a couple of key organisations that had taken that, we'll take the whole pain away. But then what you have are two behemoths trying to steer each other's ship in technology, in operations, etc. What we've seen are broadcasters pulling back from that and asking to look for specialisation. So you have companies like Encompass, largest playout provider, but that's their core business, and they will stick to that. They will come to companies like ourselves and say, can you provide this layer? That then gives agility and also cost control. We're all looking to service the broadcaster instead of having our own, financial and operational and technical goals. We will then serve as a client instead of trying to chug along and trying to fit other people's requirements into a locked workflow. We can tier workflows for various different clients. Again, file-based workflows offers you that agility.
I guess, I think in the case of broadcast engineering, we don't print our own magazine. We get somebody else to do it for us. You get
the specialists to do that. We will deliver to platforms that then will go on to, VOD, mobile apps, etc., etc. We don't do that. There are specialised companies that do that, but we will deliver a finished product to them, like the whole iTunes workflow. We will deliver a product up to that, and then it's up to iTunes to carry that on. Same with playout. We understand what the playout workflow is. 20 years in the industry, on the transmission side of things, obviously we do. But we leave that to the experts. Cello Media, Polsat, Encompass. They all know what they're doing. So we will deliver into their workflows, and then they can look after those SLAs, which are very, very key.
Okay, well, thanks very much for telling me about Loft London. Okay. So I think we can see how, as we've moved from tape to file-based operations, that broadcasters are finding that there's no need to do everything themselves, and it makes sense to outsource a lot of the operations that content have to go through to specialist providers like Loft London. And thanks very much, Davide, for telling us about it.
Thank you very much.